Good morning, everyone. It's I got 3 hours sleep. The night before that, about three and a half, maybe 2.5 hours. I didn't really keep count, and it's probably justifiable considering what is unfolding. 2010, 2012. I was a computer technician. I I freelanced. I went all over the place, fixed people's computers, installed updates for companies, this kind of thing. And one pretty nasty virus that I ran into several times is what I called a continuously mutating virus, computer virus. Now, DNA is a set of codes, right? That of the computer system. And, well, you can program this DNA just like an operating system or a app or program. You can you can write this code for it to change every so many hours or minutes or seconds even, right? And DNA is no exception to this. They can do this, and because it is a code. I just wanted to put this out there so you understand that DNA is a code. And any code, even the code to your reality, can be manipulated. Any code can be written to continuously change, just like our DNA. It's written to continuously change, right? As you get older, your DNA changes. Let's get to this article here. I have a bunch for you. I do apologize for the interruption on last night's video. My daughter didn't know I was in here doing this. Alright. Coronavirus kills man in Shanghai as China confirms nearly 2,000 cases. Now, we cannot believe the Chinese numbers. This is a very stupid thing to do. I've had the occasion to watch a handful of videos that got leaked from nurses that are in these quarantine areas, and they are freaking out. One nurse got on, and I can't play the video, okay? I can't because somebody else already did it, and I'm not going to steal their work. But this nurse gets on there and tells the world, the media and the government are lying about the numbers. And she said that it's more like 90 to 100,000 people infected. And keep in mind, it's been roughly 10 days since this first surfaced. Roughly. Now, there was also a video of a doctor on the phone with somebody confirming this number. Confirming the number. So I would not take the word of the Chinese government as to how far and wide this has spread. It has made it to Orange County, California. Okay. Now, just the same with Washington, they have a serious homeless problem in California. And these conditions are ideal for rapid spreading of pretty much any disease you can think of. Bubonic plague, pneumonic plague, Ebola, you name it. So let's see what this article has to say. All right, we'll just go through the summary right quick. See what that says first. First NCOV death reported in Shanghai. Speaking of death, the death rate is 60-40. 60% die, 40%. And this is just a rough estimate. It may be a little more on one side or a little less on one side, but it's about 60-40. This number that we're being given, it's really not true. All right? 60-40. South Korea confirms third case. Toronto health officials to announce first presumptive case of coronavirus in Canada. And keep that one in mind, because you're gonna really enjoy the irony of that. 1975 cases worldwide, 56 deaths, still about a 3% mortality rate. That's not true. It's more like a 60% mortality rate. 18 Chinese cities, 56 million people quarantined. President Xi or Xi or however you want to say his fucking name, said China faces a grave situation as the spread is accelerating. And again, these people have been all over planes. They've been tourists in our cities. Is it not reasonable to come to the conclusion that probably a lot more people are getting sick here now? I don't think so. U.S. and Russia planning evacuation of citizens from Wuhan. Yep. Australia and Malaysia join the list of global nations with NCOV cases, in addition to France, Pakistan, Singapore, the United States, and Nepal. Now, and there's more countries than that, okay? It's spread further than that now. Chinese president empowered local governments and said teams from Beijing will be sent to severely impacted areas to strengthen frontline prevention and containment. And it's too late for that. It's already out. U.S. and France chartered planes to evacuate diplomats and nationals in containment zones. The director of the CDC says she expects cases of human-to-human transmission in the U.S. So forget about this idea that it does not spread from human to human. Okay? It does. China banned all domestic tour groups immediately and overseas group tours from January 27th. Starbucks in China said they were closing some stores in China. Wuhan is building a second emergency hospital This one with 1,300 beds, and I'm sorry, but by the time they get this hospital built, they're going to need 10 times that many. 3 doctors in Beijing who visited Wuhan are confirmed to have the virus. What's the update? Update 1934, let the scapegoating begin. Whispers about the top brass in Beijing and their displeasure with the local authorities on the ground in Wuhan have been circulating for at least a day now. The South China Morning Post has confirmed that President Xi is planning to throw local health officials under the bus. Doctors and journalists on the scene in Wuhan are calling for the local leaders who are not named in the SCMP story to immediately step down. Immediately step down. Now, in densely populated cities, it'd be difficult to imagine a virus with such an infectious potential would spread like wildfire. It would be like Wuhan, but worse. And, by the way, I would say that, California is a perfect breeding ground for this stuff. For some reason, the WHO number is significantly short of the numbers being reported by the Western press. Reuters has just confirmed another death, bringing the total to 56 and the number of confirmed cases at 1,975. And again, you cannot trust these numbers. They're never going to tell you the truth. I believe the nurse. I believe the doctor. And if their numbers are right, that would suggest that probably around 60,000 people are going to die in very short order over the coming days. Damn it, I hate that shit. Update. Canadian news website Global News is reporting that Toronto health officials are about to announce that a presumptive case of coronavirus has been confirmed at Toronto's Sunnybrook Hospital. So, them people who have treated this guy or patient, in all likelihood, have already contracted this disease, and the people in the waiting room along with them. Just saying. Okay. 2 cases of the virus have been confirmed in the U.S., but after several scares, no cases have yet been confirmed in Mexico, although testing is still underway for a trio of cases. Okay, update 15:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now that the market is closed, local authorities apparently feel it's safe to start dribbling out real numbers. The number of confirmed corona cases soared on Saturday as China confirmed roughly 500 new cases. And again, we cannot trust any of these numbers from these people. And here's their little lie chart here. All right, we'll go on to the next one because this is a really the kicker. Did China steal coronavirus from Canada and weaponize it? All right, so about 6 months ago, Canada hosted two Chinese national scientists specializing in coronavirus. And during the whole time, they were sending information back to, guess where? Wuhan Institute of Virology or something like that. Okay? They were sending this information back. And they ended up being detained as a result. About 6 months ago. Last year, a mysterious shipment was caught smuggling coronavirus from Canada. It was traced to Chinese agents working at a Canadian lab. A subsequent investigation by Great Game India linked the agents to Chinese biological warfare program from where the virus is suspected to have leaked, causing the Wuhan coronavirus outbreak. The Saudi Stars sample. On July 13, 2012, a 60-year-old Saudi man was admitted to a private hospital in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a 7-day history of fever, cough, and so on, shortness of breath, all that stuff. He had no history of cardiopulmonary or renal diseases. Was receiving no long-term medications and did not smoke. Egyptian virologist Dr. Ali Mohammed Zaki isolated and identified a previously unknown coronavirus from his lungs. After routine diagnostics failed to identify the causative agent, Zaki contacted Ron Faucher, a leading virologist at the EMC in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, for advice. This individual sequenced the virus from a sample sent by Zaki. He used a broad-spectrum pan-coronavirus real-time polymerase chain reaction method to test for distinguishing features of a number of known coronaviruses known to infect humans. The Canadian lab. Coronavirus arrived at Canada NML Winnipeg facility on May 4th, 2013, from the Dutch lab. The Canadian lab grew up stocks of the virus, and used it to assess diagnostic testing being used in Canada. So the irony is, it didn't originate in China. It originated in Canada. Now, there's some reports out there suggesting that this is a complete misdiagnosis and that it's not coronavirus at all, but rather pneumonic plague. Which is far worse than the bubonic Just saying. Now, let me get over here. If my computer is going to cooperate with me. You know, piece of shit. I don't even need to read this article to you. I've already read it. Here's the deal. This article talks about how the vast majority of Americans are not ready for a financial collapse. And this is true. The financial impact in China already is at the tune of billions and billions of dollars. What do you suppose is going to happen when, when people start freaking out here? When the economy comes to a screeching halt? Could this all be done by design? Could it? I think so. I mean, we've had these people for decades now calling for a major reduction in population. And what better place to start than China, India, United States, Canada? One last tidbit here, and this is not related to coronavirus, but it's still important if my computer cooperates. TEPCO proposes 44-year plan to decommission Fukushima 2 nuclear plant. This is a case of way too little, way too late, and way too long. We already have what could be an extinction level event in Fukushima. We have going on currently what could end up being a civilization ending event in this virus. It's very interesting timing. That's all I have to say. Very interesting timing, and the next 4 weeks, maybe 8, will yield some answers. And I'll do my best to keep on top of it until the bitter end. I hope everyone has a great Sunday. If I see anything else, I'll be on here. I have all day. And not going to be sleeping very well, tell you that. Until next time, kill the state, live free.